Welcome to the Gyrl podcast, the show where purpose meets inspiration. Each week, I sit down with incredible individuals who open up about their real life journeys, the wins, the setbacks, and the lessons in between. Whether you're navigating career moves, entrepreneurship, or personal growth, you're in the right place. I'm Kyra Mitchell Lewis, your host, and I'm so glad you're here. Let's glow up together. All right, happy Thursday. Here's to a new week, friends. Not a new week. I mean, we're at the end of the week, but a new week for us being together here, sharing in this community. So let's talk about today's guest. I'm really excited to welcome Alison Kero. She is a professional organizer, online coach, and co-author of a best-selling book. Since 2024, she has helped individuals, families, and groups transform their homes and lives through simple, sustainable organizing systems. So, today with Alison, we're going to talk about from clutter to confidence, rebuilding your life through boundaries, systems, and self trust. So, let's grab Alison and bring her into the conversation. All right, welcome back, and let's welcome Alison to the show. Welcome, Alison.
Thank you very much. I'm excited to be here.
Awesome. Well, why don't we get started like we always do here at Glow Up Girl and have you tell our audience listening or watching who you are and what you do.
Okay. So my name is Alison Kero. I am a home organizational coach, and I help women who are entrepreneurs who work at home. I help them clear out the clutter in their lives so that they can create easy, simple systems so that they are more productive, so that they are helping themselves with figuring out what their goals are, so that they are putting healthy boundaries around so they know what is coming into their life, why it's coming into their life, whether it's supporting them in their life. That helps them build awareness, helps them trust their intuition, and all of that helps them make smarter, healthier, more confident decisions for themselves.
Oh, I love that. All of those things. And I think obviously here in this community, we have a lot of women who are entrepreneurs and who are working, and a lot of people who are still working at home and
Yeah.
just, trying to find that separation between like work life and still having like personal space as well.
Yes.
All right, let's talk about. So, one thing you've said is that clutter often reflects deeper emotional or life challenges. What's the number one reason, or any of the reasons? Doesn't have to be the number one, but what's a reason that you feel like people struggle and have this like chronic clutter everywhere around them?
Guilt. A
Mm,
lot of it is guilt, a lot and a lack of awareness. I think things start coming into your life and you get so busy, you have so many things going on, and you kind of shut it off and you shut down and you stop noticing the piles, and you're not even focused on, like, you walk home, you come home and you don't even notice any longer because you're so used to the emotion that you automatically get stressed instead of walking home into your home and feeling like this is my oasis. This is where I get to breathe and think and be and rest and rejuvenate. And it becomes, you're so used to it. It's sort of like if you eat a lot of sugar, when you eat that next candy bar, you're not going to notice the sugar rush because you're so used to it. But once you
mm.
cut out that, then you go back and you eat a candy bar, you start noticing the sugar rush and you're like, oh, yeah, that does not feel good. But you're so used to it, you don't notice the negativity coming in and affecting your life.
I think that's a very good example. Something that came to me, something I thought about is, well, a couple things came to mind, and love my mother-in-law dearly, love her dearly, but she has like a lot of like things in her house. Like there's a lot of piles of things. And also shout out to my mama too, because my mom has and it's always like they're saying like, oh, I'm going to clean this up. I'm going to do this. And they're both retired and they're both like, "I'm going to." And I'm like, but when are you? Like,
Yeah.
just throw it in the trash. Like, I don't understand it. Like, because I start doing this for myself because it's easy to just kind of like store up things and just have it sitting there because you think you're going to need it one day. But I'm like, in reality, you haven't used it in like a year. Like I started just throwing out stuff that like whatever we're not using in this house, like we donate it or we throw it away if it's trash.
Yeah. Well, I think one reason, decision fatigue, because think
Mm,
about it, you have all of these little piles everywhere and you're thinking about the big picture rather than what if I just took this one pile over here on this on this table and I
mhm.
just worked on those and I made one decision at a time, or what if I just set a timer for 15 minutes and tackled this one area and then I continued to do it. But when you've got it all over the place, you're thinking, "Oh my god, this is a huge project. I'm
Yeah.
exhausted looking at it." And that's clutter causes exhaustion, overwhelm. You think, "Oh my god, I've got to make so many different decisions about that." And then the decisions become overwhelming because you're like, "What if I need it? Oh my god, so and so gave this to me. I'm going to feel guilty if I,
Yeah.
let it go from my house." Also, the next decision is, what is the next step once I wanna get it out of the house? Do I sell it? Do I donate it? Where do I donate
Mhm,
it? How do I
mhm.
get rid of it? And all of that can be extremely overwhelming, and it stops you in your tracks.
I think that is great. Thank you so much for breaking that down because that is so very true. And first thing you said, decision fatigue. You are so right because I remember trying to explain this to my husband when I was in corporate America, and I was trying to tell him like something as small as in the evening as him saying like, what do you want to watch?" And I was like, just pick something. And he's like, well, what do you want to look at? Because sometimes I'm like, dude, I have been making decisions since I woke up at 5:30 this morning and went to work and had to make decisions for like everybody I come into contact with. And I'm just tired. Like I don't want to do it. So I'm so glad that you brought that up because I think you're right. Like, sometimes I don't always, like, apply it, and I think sometimes too because, like, I'll say, like, "Oh, well, I mean, well, they're, like, retired. Like, do they have a lot of this?" But it's like you mentioned, it is that, feeling of, like, "What am I gonna do with it?" Like, do I donate it? I gotta call somebody to pick it up. Do I sell it? Where am I gonna sell it if I'm gonna sell it? So, you're right. I think that can slow down people, and have them just say, actually just turn and say, "Never mind, I don't wanna deal with it."
Yeah, yeah, it's exhausting, and yeah, even if you are retired, it's a lot of decision makings, and then underlying that, it could be guilt or shame or fear.
Mhm. Yeah, and I do believe, and oh my gosh, mom, if you're listening to this episode, I love you so much, but I'm gonna use you again as an example because I think she did say this. Like, she was like, "Oh, yeah, I just feel bad that I let all this stuff pile up or whatever." Or like my sister who still has a room at my mom's house, and when she left after college, just left all the things in her room and did it. And my mom's like, well, I know I need to clean that up. I'm like, no, you don't. She needs to clean it up. It was her room. So
Yeah.
you need to tell her she just needs to come clean it up so that because that in a sense is it's still kind of like holding back your freedom to enjoy the full space of your house because you don't even go in this room because her stuff is there. And my mom just does these peeks to make sure that nothing's off and that there's nothing in the room, and then she, closes the door and goes back out.
Oh, Lord. Yeah, I mean, I got lucky, I guess. My mom, when I graduated from college, was like, "Take everything out of the house and anything you leave behind, I'm throwing out." And I was like, "All right, it's not my house anymore, so I really don't have a right to be able to
Right,
put it in
exactly.
there."
Yeah.
And then she ended up renting out the bottom half of her house because she wanted to repurpose it.
Yeah.
And I think maybe, your mom might feel a little guilt like, "Oh, I don't wanna do that to my child," but this is where
Yeah.
holding up boundaries, and boundaries really is showing up for yourself and
Mhm.
saying, "I wanna have a better life for myself," and that means making sure that I keep my home neat and tidy because not only does clutter cause exhaustion and overwhelm, but it's a lot harder to keep your home clean because you've got
Mhm.
that clutter and then dust and dirt and grime and
Yeah.
maybe a couple of
Mhm.
dead bugs end up hiding in there. And then it becomes an environment that isn't as healthy as you really deserve. And so
Mhm.
it's about being like, I deserve to come into my home and feel, just like a calm nature. I deserve to be able to clean up and tidy up my home quickly and easily. I
Mhm.
deserve to claim that every bit of my home is my home and I can use it the way I want to intend to use it.
Mhm.
But that becomes hard because yeah, maybe she feels guilty because oh, that's my baby, that's my little
Yeah,
girl, and I don't
grow
want
it
to
out.
pull out, even if she is a full grown adult. But
Yes. Oh my gosh, you're so right. I mean, and I think like for me, it's like the complete opposite because I am, and I think this is just from like situations, right? So like, and God bless her. My aunt passed away a couple years ago, but her house was like hoarders.
Mm,
Like, there was so much stuff everywhere. She had a ton of, like, she was a person who, like, if she liked something, she got, like, 10 of those things. And she was always storing up and always had enough things, and so when she died, like, her house had to be cleaned in order to sell it.
yeah,
And so that meant, like, like, my dad, like my uncle, me, like different people coming in at different times and like going through all these things. And all I could think to myself, Allison, was like, oh my God, I'm going home to our house and we are not holding on to things. I'm not really like a hoard. My husband's more of like the hoarder in our house.
mm,
Like for me, I'm like, well, if we're not using it, it's going in the trash. And I can't imagine, like, even if I find something, I'm like, oh, this, I like this. But I'm like, have you used it in the last 2 years? And so when I came home, I just remember even like bringing things. My dad was like, "Oh, would you want?" I was like, "No, I don't." I only took like very few things that were sentimental
yeah,
things that, what reminds me of her or reminds me of my grandparents. Those were things I took. But like, just as far as like, I was like, I don't want to take more things and store it in my house
yeah,
because we don't have space. And there's a funny thing about, death. And when you start looking at these situations, you're like, I don't want to leave that for someone else to have to clean behind me. So when I came in, I just remember like telling my husband, I'm like, we're going through things. And he was like, wait, but what? I was like, you don't use it. You don't.
yeah.
I was like, "You absolutely do not use it." And I've sold like, I donate stuff, like, every season, and then I also sell things on Poshmark. And so I'm like, just if you don't like having minimal things is so awesome because I'm sure, and I'm going to ask you this question next. I'm sure it helps, like, when you declutter, it is, like, almost this tool for, like, healing,
Yeah.
as you mentioned, clarity,
Yeah.
but then also, like, confidence, right? So it's not just, "I did all these things because I want a clean home," but how does that translate into just, like, our mental and being?
Well, I like, I think you can be a maximalist or a minimalist. I don't think that really particularly matters. I think it's a preference, but it's really about meaningfulism.
Mm,
What are you keeping in your house that holds purpose for you, that is meaningful, that is supporting you in the person you are now, not the person you were,
mhm,
10, 20, 30 years ago, but the person you are now and the person that you are working to become. Those are the items that you need in your house to be able to support you and guide you and help you make smart decisions. And when you are only surrounded by the people and the things that support you and hold meaningful meaning I'm blanking out the that are meaningful for you,
uh-huh,
that's when you've got the clarity, you've got the space, right? So part of getting rid of things is creating space for new and better things or events or memories or whatever it is to come in. Because when you hold all of that stuff together, you are not allowing anything new to come in, and it's kind of like you're protecting yourself and you're also holding yourself back by just holding on to a bunch of memories, but
mm,
you're not allowing yourself to progress into the future.
yeah,
And I think that's sad because there's so much fear and there's often a lot of trauma that goes into people hoarding onto stuff because they can't let go of their past. So when you open up that space, when you get rid of everything that holds no meaning, that isn't supporting you, that isn't telling you that you are amazing, that you're beautiful, that you're funny, that you're smart, like all of the things that surround you should be telling you I am amazing. And then when you walk into your closet and the only items that you have fit you really well and you like and make you feel amazing, whether they're like loungewear or like a power suit, I don't care which
Mhm,
it is, but you should be able to put
mhm,
that on and be like, I am an amazing person. And that is the person that you are, no matter what you're wearing, and
mhm,
that everything that you use in your house makes you feel like you are a competent, amazing, beautiful human being who can show up in
mhm,
the way that you want to and make your dreams come true. But if you
mhm,
keep holding on to the guilt, the shame, the fear, all of the stuff, the past, it's really hard to merge into the person that you want to become because you have so much baggage that you're dragging with
mhm.
you spiritually, emotionally, physically. It's hard.
Mhm. Okay, I love that, Allison, and I love that you referenced the closet and the clothes that, fit, because so many times people are like, "Well, I'm gonna get back into that." And they don't realize, like, it just makes you feel worse because you can't embrace and love who you are today
Yeah.
because you're just like you said, you're living in the past in a moment that you're trying to get back to, but you have this opportunity to make these new moments and this new you at whatever the size, whatever the like you mentioned, whatever the style of clothes, like no matter what, like you still get to step in and be you and
Yeah.
and be your unique self and love all the things about you and just and be happy in that space.
Yeah. And my other question is, okay, say you had like a pair of jeans or some outfit that you had that you grew out of.
Mhm.
If you got back into that size, are you actually going to wear them? Or are they
Mm.
just a reminder to tell you you're not enough? Because if you're gonna keep it and you're gonna use it to make smarter, like, I'm gonna start eating healthy foods for myself. I'm
Mhm.
gonna show up and
Mhm.
I'm gonna exercise every day, and then I'm excited to get back into them. And I'm not
Mhm.
gonna use shame to do it, but I'm gonna show up for myself to do it. That's different. And then I'm gonna wear it once I get back into that size. But I think a lot of us keep on to those things like one day, but I don't even like that outfit. I'm not going to wear it. If I lost that weight, I'd go out and buy something new. Then there's no
Right.
point. Love what you wear. And if you do end up getting into a smaller size, great. You're probably going to end up shopping again. So there's no
Mhm.
point in you walking into your closet every day and being reminded that you're not perfect, because that's an awful way to start your day. And that's one of the first decisions you make every single solitary morning is, what am I
Mhm.
going to wear today? Who am I going to show
Mhm.
up as? And if you've got 70, I think the average is most women have 70% of their closet they don't ever wear and don't like, and 30% that they do like. Let's say you got rid of that 70% and you have only the 30. You can
Mhm.
find everything really easily. You
Mhm.
know where
Mhm.
everything is. You like everything. You can build on that if you want, or you just have a smaller wardrobe where you feel amazing. That's
Mm.
powerful. I would rather have fewer things that make me feel amazing than a whole
Mhm.
closet full of stuff there I can't find, make me feel confused, and I don't like.
Exactly. No, I agree with you. I love that. I like that a lot. Allison, let's talk about like realistically, how long does it normally take for someone to move from cluttered to organized?
That depends on the person, and it depends on how big their space is. It depends on, are they living with other people? Do they have a family? Are they a couple? Are they themselves? It depends on how much support do you need. So, I'm actually in the process of developing three different programs. One where you have an intensive conversation with me for 2 hours, and then I create a plan for you to move forward, because you are someone who can hold themselves accountable and they
Mhm.
just need sort of a guide to help them figure out how
Right.
to do it. And then they could
Mhm.
do it on their own time. And then I've got a 3 month plan that I offer right now and a 6 month plan. The 3 month is for, I need some help, I need some guidance, I need some support, and I need some accountability. But I think within a 3 month time, I should be able to, when we're not together, go and work on,
Right.
we do one more room at a time and get that cleared up. And then the 6 month is, I'm really struggling and I'm going to need a lot of support. And
Mhm.
so it really depends on how much stuff you have and how quickly you're willing to let the items go and not get
Mhm.
trapped in in decision fatigue, in feeling guilty about stuff, of letting go of the shame and the fear, and also how much time and energy do you have in your schedule to devote to this. So
Mhm.
if you have a disability of some sort and maybe your mobility or your energy is a little bit more limited, I'm going to suggest that you do, a shorter program, but if you have more energy and you're like, I'm chomping at the bit to get this done, then I'm going to be like, yeah, let's do this so that you're doing a longer periods of time. But I also, my goal at the end of it is so that you walk away and you have effective systems that work for who you are and how your life is and where you want to go, so that you can work on it. And then you learn how to create these systems so that, say it doesn't something doesn't work anymore, you know how to create a system for yourself so that
Mhm.
you can continue doing it and you don't keep getting trapped in disorganization. So maybe your new system is, I feel like every time I need to walk out the door, I'm 10 minutes late because I don't know where my keys are. I don't know where my purse is. I don't know where my wallet is. Well, we're
Mhm.
going to create a system so that you have a designated spot for all of those items that are probably right near your door, so that you can just go grab and leave
Mhm.
without
Mhm.
thinking of it. Because when you come home, you're going to put all of those things in those designated spots because they are always going to be there unless they're on your person.
Yes. No, I love that. I think that's really smart. So as you talked about some of the programs that you're developing and how you work with people, it is a bit, it is coaching in
Yes.
these instances. And
Yes.
why do you think that it's important for people to, to be coached versus just simply saying, "I've got it organized," and that's it?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I used to do in-home and in the office organizing, and
Mm-hmm.
what I often found were that people were spending a lot of time apologizing to me and not really focusing on the work that we were doing. And
Mm-hmm.
then some people would just like, I would walk in and they would walk out, and I was like, I still need you. I don't know what your stuff is and what you need. I can't help you
Right.
set up a system.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so I found that it was, and some people learned it really well, but that was usually people who were willing to do like ongoing work. Like I've worked with hoarders who were actually then teaching their siblings who were also struggling with hoarding how to do it.
Mhm,
But
mhm,
there were a lot of other people who were like, I'm so exhausted by this. I don't want to show up. And I'm like, you have to take accountability for the stuff you brought in because you're never going to learn how to do it. It's just going to
right.
become a problem again.
Mhm,
So
mhm,
I wanted to go into coaching because I want to teach you how to do it. And then if you don't want me to see what's in your home, I don't have to see it. You can,
mhm,
show me photos, but if there's something you don't want me to see, I don't want you to be held up by shame or fear or any of those
right.
other things. I want you to be able to create a system where no matter what it is, you know what to do with it, and you designate a spot so that you know where absolutely everything in your home goes, so that you can find it and you can always put it where it belongs.
Mhm,
And I think with the coaching, it holds you accountable. And there are
mhm,
some people who maybe they just need a little bit of help, like getting started. And so, that's why I do social media and I offer tips and stuff like that. And I
mhm,
have my blog that's available and my newsletter. And those for people who maybe they do need me, but they're never gonna admit that to themselves. They don't wanna deal
mhm,
with it. So at least I'm gonna give them some advice that hopefully they can use, and maybe they just need a little bit of encouragement or a couple of ideas. But there are
mhm,
other people, just like exercising. Most of us know how to exercise,
mhm,
but there are people who want the coaching because they're going to get that extra degree of accountability, of support, of knowing that they're doing it the right way. And they're going to find the right program that works for who they are, what their schedule is, and how their body works. Because even with exercise, what works for you doesn't work for me. And the same thing
mhm,
with organizing. You have to find what works for you so that you're actually going to do it. If you did a HIT program for me, I have chronic Lyme disease. That's going to destroy me for the rest of the day. And it's not going to be something that I'm going to be able to keep up. So
mhm,
I've found other ways to find different exercises that are a lot more gentle for me so that
mhm,
I can show up and I can exercise on a regular basis. And
mhm,
it's the same way. You have to find what works for you, for your energy levels, for the amount of stuff that you have, for how you work, what your home setup looks like. And I also work with families and couples because you have to work together as a joint unit. I often
Right.
hear from people who are like, I spent an hour organizing and then a half an hour later the kids undid it. And I'm like, if you're not setting them up with tasks and having them show up as part of the family, then it's
Mhm.
a never ending cycle that's never
Mhm.
going to work, and it's exhausting and
Mhm.
frustrating. And I think that you need to teach your kids, you're part of a home unit. We all need to help keep this home tidy and clean, and
Mhm.
these are skills that you need to learn so that when you go out and become an adult, your roommates aren't going to hate your guts. Your spouse isn't going to hate your guts, and you're going to know how to do basic life skills that you can use. I mean, a lot of this is teaching you, hey, I'm going to learn how to let go of items that are intangible, that are tangible, and I'm going to learn, like, this is causing me guilt and this isn't helping me any longer, and I'm going to get this out of my house. And the nice thing is they're not going to, that shirt's not going to knock on your door and be like, why aren't you talking to me anymore? So you can learn how to get rid of, like, these emotions and setups that don't really work with you, and put healthy boundaries on yourself
Mhm.
with
Mhm.
things that are in it, they're just tangible. That's it. And so you can learn that skill that way and then transfer all of those skills to literally everything in your life. So, like, I love organizing because it teaches you to be aware of, what do I have? How does it make me feel? How am I showing up with
Mhm.
it? Am I using it? And then I started noticing that with the other stuff in my life, when I'm having a conversation with someone, how did that make me feel? I had a conversation with someone last week where halfway through I lost my energy. And I was like,
Mm.
that person is not the right person to work with me.
Right.
And it's
Yeah.
because I started getting rid of the stuff that wasn't supporting me, that was tangible in my life, that allowed me to clear enough space to start hearing my own body.
Mhm. Mhm. I love that.
Yeah.
So Allison, for a woman who might be listening to us and she's feeling overwhelmed by the environment in which she's in, what's the one thing she could do to start today?
I would say pick one pick one room that's not over, maybe the least overwhelming room that has the least amount of triggering things in there, that's a hard decision for you, and then pick one spot, a drawer, a countertop, whatever. Set a timer for 15 minutes and get done what you can done. Make a decision. Does it need to go in the trash? Can it be recycled? Can it be donated? Or if it needs to belong in the home, where does this belong? Everything in your home deserves to have a space where it belongs, and it should be put in a place where you are using it the most, right? So a spatula doesn't make sense in the living room. It makes most sense in a drawer that's close to your stove because that's where you're going to be using it.
Mhm. Mhm. Yes. Agree, agree, agree. I love that. And I love the start small, set the
Yeah.
timer, just do take some action to do
Yeah.
something.
And then celebrate that win. You did that.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter about what's left. You did that. And if you keep
Mhm.
doing it, it's like, you want to run a marathon. You're not going to go and run the marathon when you just got off the couch. You're going to have to start slow, maybe a half a mile, then a mile, and build up.
Yes, you have to build. You have to build. I love that. Okay, Allison, let everyone know how they can connect to you and learn more about everything you've talked about, how they might work with you.
Okay, so my website is from cluttertoconfidence.com. And I'm also on LinkedIn under my name, Alison Kero. And then Instagram and TikTok are both from Clutter to Confidence.
From clutter to confidence. Make sure you all check that out, and we'll also drop the links in the show notes as well. All right, let's transition to three things with Allison. So I'm going to ask you three questions that just helps our audience get to know you even better. The first one is a two-parter. How do you start and end the day?
I start my day by, well, first I kiss my cats and then I journal for 10 minutes because it gets all of the, if I'm feeling cranky, it gets that out and I then get to plan my day and start it out healthier and happier. And how do I end my day?
Hmm.
I usually try and read for about 10 minutes, just something fun so that I'm
Hmm.
ending the day kind of having something enjoyable.
Yes, awesome. All right, the second question is what's a current intention you're focusing on?
A current intention, I'm trying to build up so that I can build up my energy so that I can start doing I take a walk in the morning. I wanna add to that by doing maybe 10 to 20 minutes of another exercise in the
Mhm.
afternoon when I have the energy.
Okay. Okay. Awesome. And the last question is, where are you currently finding inspiration?
Well, your podcast is great. I like to read self-help books and I love networking because I love listening to different women's stories, how they got started, what it inspires them, and how they're building their business. And it's
Mm.
exciting to you're entreprenista, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
Okay, yeah. So I love Entreprenista because it's literally I just started and I have a small company to I'm a multimillionaire,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
I've got a huge company. And every
Mhm.
one of those women are willing to listen to you, support you, guide you, offer advice. It's just an amazing collaboration. I'm so grateful that I found it.
Mhm. Awesome. I love that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Allison, thank you so much for spending time with us today and sharing all those really great tips just to help people get started and to also just kind of understand the role that clutter plays in your life when you don't really think about it's not just a pile of things that are sitting there. There's a deeper meaning to it. And thank you so much for really breaking that down for us today. So, before I let you go, I have one last question, and it is, what are three things you'd like our audience to take away from this conversation today?
Um, I would say a little goes a long way.
Mhm.
You are worth the time it takes, and it's time to clear out space so that new amazing things can happen for you because you're worth it.
Awesome. I love it. Well, thank you, Allison, so much for coming and sharing today. And you can always come back here in the future.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Awesome. Stay tuned, everyone. All right, welcome back, and let's thank Allison again for joining the show today. A lot of great tips, a lot of great tips, and just so many things that I think we can all take from, just being organized in our house, not for the sake, not just even for the sake of like, I can find things easily or I have everything has its place, but just from a mental wellness perspective of like, just, understanding the why behind you may have a lot of things that you don't need anymore. And I just love everything that all her great tips. So make sure you check her out. The links are in the show notes. If you'd like to learn more about us at Glow Up Girl. So if this is your first time here and you just found us, make sure you visit glowupgirl.com. Also, make sure you sign up for our newsletter to get tools, insights, and inspiration for your own personal glow up journey. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. So if you're listening and you say, oh, I want to watch this, make sure you go there. We are at Glow Up Girl. And wherever you might be listening, don't forget to rate, review, and share. It helps more people to find our show. And if you are sharing any of our content on social, make sure you tag us as well. All right. So I want to tell you about a service that I offer. If you are ready to turn your personal story into purpose and tell it this year, if you've been thinking to yourself, this is the year that I'm doing pods, this is the year that I'm doing speaking engagements, or I just need to update my About Me page on my website. I have a service where I can help you to figure out what that narrative looks like for you so that you really just own it and you share it in a way that's meaningful to you and also the people who you are trying to reach. So it's called Story Labs. Go to glowupgirl.com/story-labs. You and we meet, we talk, I listen, and then I come back to you with a snapshot of the story that you should tell to the world. All right. And lastly, if you're a brand of business looking to partner with Glow Up Girl, check out our website, check out the sponsorships, or if you're looking for something different, make sure you reach out to hello@glowupgirl.com. All right, my friends, thank you all for spending part of your day with me, wherever you may be in the world. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I can't say it enough. I am always just overwhelmed by all the support that we get here on the show. All right, so I will see you all again next week. So until then, stay focused, fab, and glow up. Take care, everyone.